Why do you have heartburn?
Yeah.
Ooh. You know what the best ones are now? Are the chewy Tums with the gas.
Yeah, I like those too.
The ones that help you with the gas, because I have farts sometimes.
You have all the fats.
I have. See it.
You just tip it up and just let it roll out.
This episode's sponsored by Tums.
Do you need just one?
Tums.
I think so.
Tums.
Well,
Fuck! Did you see how hard you had to work to get the one out?
Like 3 or 4.
no.
Come on.
No, you guys need one.
You must have
Tums pusher?
mild heartburn.
Yeah, it's just mild.
All right.
I had pizza earlier.
I eat a lot of like dried mango and dried banana chips, and what that does is the gut bacteria, they like to engorge themselves on that sucrose, and what that does is they get really fat, and then they make poop noises, which are farts.
I think your diet is interesting.
Yeah.
I like dried mango too. It's just like
Dried mango is one of the best things ever. Go to Sprouts Market, for those who like to shop with smelly people. I go to Sprouts and get it in bulk.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Dried mango pieces?
Yeah, dude, dried mango. Don't get the sweetened ones because you'll get diabetes real quick.
Oh.
You have to go on Ozempic. I'm going to cover all the sponsorships right now. We don't even have any of those yet.
No, but one day.
dress for the job you want.
How
go.
about that traffic, guys?
It sucks.
Is that why it took you so long to get here?
No, it's because I live 40 minutes away.
But you
went all the way home?
I wasn't here today.
Oh.
Yeah, I was supposed to be, but my flight landed today at 9 a.m. and I was like, no dice.
Where do you live?
Ashland City.
Oh, you're out there. Yeah, that sucks for you. Did you get any of the tornado stuff?
I don't know. I was in Dallas.
Is
your house still there?
Yes, but I will say, like, you know how, like, you never hear about Ashland City, obviously.
Yeah.
On a national level, at least. Well, I landed in Dallas, check into the hotel, and press the power button on the TV. And straight away, it's just the National Weather Channel. And they're just zoomed in on Ashland City and Pleasantville. You guys can see here in Ashland City, Tennessee, they're right in the path of the shitacane. And I was like, dude, it was not, like, that was a moment where I was like, oh, okay, well, this might not be good.
Yeah.
And, you know, you check and make sure your renter's insurance, everything's good.
There was I get an F3 went through Clarksville up there, and like your area was an F2. Yeah, F5 according to the movie Twister is the finger of God, so 3 is halfway to the finger of God, I guess.
Oh, I thought you were the finger of God.
Yeah. Helen Hunt.
Yeah,
we talked about that with Danielle Breezy.
we did. We
Yeah.
talked about tornadoes.
Yeah. She's very excited about it. She doesn't like them for the death part of it, per se.
Right.
But she does like to report on them.
I think it's also one of the only, like, natural disasters where you don't have much of a warning at all.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you see hurricanes in Florida, like, they just prepare for weeks.
Yeah.
Well, there's some starting, in the Ozars right now. Not Azores, not Ozars. Ozark is a fucking Netflix.
What are Azores?
Azores?
Azores.
The islands out in the Atlantic Ocean, over
How do you
there.
know all this shit?
Obviously,
And
I don't,
that's where
'cause I
they
just asked what
start
the
around
Azores
there,
were.
and then they come off the coast of Africa, go through there, and then
So that's where you get the dried mangoes.
up to Destin, Florida. They
Wow.
go from Africa to Destin, Florida.
The things you learn with David Teller.
Hurricanes.
I pride myself on being an encyclopedia of useless knowledge in case I ever have to go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire one day.
Yeah.
But you'd probably do better than me.
Can I be your phone a friend?
Lifeline. Yeah.
I would drop the ball so bad. I would drop the
panic?
ball like the dude did for the Titans last night, whom I screamed at repeatedly and told him he had a terrible life and he should go away.
But which one? A lot of people drop the ball.
Yeah, it was one of them. It was a good game, though. Did you watch this game, this match
I
between
did.
the Titans and the
It
Dolphins?
was an amazing game.
It was. We
Yeah.
came back and won. I'm pretty happy about it.
Listen, I know that all the Titans fans are excited and everything. And that I'm happy for them. But I think that time will tell. I just think Will Levis is trash.
Oh, no.
Yeah, never thought he was good coming out of the draft. Didn't understand why people would pick him so high.
David's from Kentucky. He hates you so hard right now.
That is what it is. I mean, I get it.
I mean, you're entitled to your own opinion as long, even if it's stupid, it's still your opinion.
But I mean,
I thought the best quarterback in the draft was obviously C.J. Stroud. Couldn't believe anyone
Texans
took.
got him.
Yeah. After Carolina passed on him and took Bryce Young.
He is a wonderful quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a good looking kid too.
I'm just saying, you see guys like CJ, and then you see a guy like Will Levis.
Yeah.
No comparison.
Yeah, I know. Just Will's just running through people last night, with the ball, and CJ's just trying to skip out of the way. It's fine.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah,
Leads the league in passing yards.
I like my quarterbacks that are manly. I like him to be like Manly Beach in Australia.
Are you attracted to Will Levis's big beefy arms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were a Ben Roethlisberger kind of guy, weren't you?
Welcome to Traintown. I am David Tolliver.
Colt Mursky.
Tolliversky.
Yeah.
Today we have just a fabulous, wonderful human being.
Oh, let's go. Keep going. Yeah.
Larger than life. Man of men.
Larger than he should be.
You're one of
physically.
Champion of champions.
You're one
Heroes
of my
heroes.
favorite people in the past 6 months. You are.
Honestly, that's a high compliment from Tolliver for sure.
He hates everybody.
I just hate Nashville traffic.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
everybody.
We went and ate sushi. That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
This is what I mean, though. Like, your diet is absurd. You just eat sushi and dried mangoes. And I'm just saying, like, knowing the type of person that you are.
It's so bougie.
No, it's just funny. Yeah, so you have like a super bougie diet for.
I really don't though. Like we'll eat salads, like this
Yeah.
Caesar salad with this poppy seed dressing because I don't really like Caesar dressing. So I guess technically it's not a Caesar salad. Yeah, but we'll have that, and I'll have like some soups and some fish and some stuff at night. I have by the way, Publix right now has prime rib standing roast, $6.99 a pound.
Let's go.
It's ribeye steak.
Yeah.
I buy it, slice it up myself, put it in the freezer, bring it out sous vide, for a little while.
Impressive. I have like four things I like, and I just
He's
stick
not
to
bougie.
that.
Yeah.
You're not. It's not that you're bougie with your diet. It's just if you meet you.
Yeah.
Based upon your personality, you're like, oh, that dude just like grills whatever the hell on the grill at night. And no, you like exquisite sushi.
Dude, I'm a foodie.
Yeah, you are. No, you are definitely
For sure
a foodie.
Oh, I'd like to try a lot of new things. Mm-hmm. I've eaten some stuff I won't ever eat again. We were in Ireland, and I had black pudding.
What is that?
So white pudding is sausage.
What?
It's like sausage patty, basically.
Oh, it just makes me want to throw up calling a sausage patty white pudding.
Black pudding is like blood sausage patty.
Is it tasty?
It tastes like eating a ball of iron, but mushy iron.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I
Feels
won't
good on
ever
the
eat
tongue?
that again.
Yeah.
But you did it.
I ate it once.
Thank you for your service.
Not going to go
Well,
in.
how was the white patty?
White patty's fine. It's like, Pernell old folks. It's good. That sausage.
So that's what they eat over there?
Yeah, they eat sausage, but they call it weird things. I don't know why you'd call sausage white pudding.
No, it's
I don't know.
gross.
It just kind of grosses me out.
Gives me anxiety.
That too.
How you doing, man?
Probably, if I had to put a number on it, 11 out of 10.
Oh, okay. We're fired up. Let's go.
We are fired up.
What you got going on right now that you're so happy about?
Nothing. Like, actually nothing. Well, I mean, just life in general.
Yeah.
But it's one of those days where I'm really tired because I had a 6 a.m. flight, but I'm just pumping myself up through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, yeah, I'm feeling good about the songs I've been writing, feeling good about releasing all this music, and just, I feel, in like a very humble way, I just feel some momentum, and it feels good, and it feels right, and it feels chronologically right. I don't feel like any steps are getting skipped, and yeah, I'm just happy about it.
That's nice. That's a good place to be
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
You grew up in Trenton, Ohio.
Yeah, it sucked.
You know what Trenton's original name was?
Trenton.
Yeah, it's like Bloomfield.
I went to Bloomfield Elementary School.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you go to Edge? Was it Edgeville High School?
Yeah, why do you know that?
Cougars.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Where are you from?
I'm from Southeast Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's everybody. If you're not like really from there, it gets confusing because there's Edgewood, Kentucky, which is in northern Kentucky.
Yeah.
but my school district was called Edgewood. Yeah. So people be like, "Oh, where you go to school?" I'd be like, "Edgewood." They'd be like, "Oh, I'm down in Kentucky." No.
Yeah. I'm just smart, dude.
Yo, who's that one interviewer that always interviews rappers? Nardwar? Where he just like knows everything about them?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's who you are.
No, how is it? I grew up in a small town too.
Yeah.
I mean, my town was 600 people. I hear the water up there in Trenton is really good.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
One town over.
Was it Hamilton?
Yeah, they bottle it.
Yeah.
Is it really good?
It's supposed to be, I guess, better than most, which is why they started bottling it.
It's just groundwater. I mean, to get it out of the ground, they pump it out of the ground.
I guess, yeah.
I have no like natural spring water?
I think you have to drill down. You have to frack it.
Yeah,
frack that water.
Frack that water.
That's some fracking good water.
How did you get what did you play your whole life music?
I got into music because when we would go visit my great grandparents, they had an old player piano in their house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, you put the scroll in.
Oh, I know
and
exactly
it plays itself.
what it is.
Yeah. You'd be shocked by the amount of people that don't know what a player piano is. But so they had one of the real old ones with the scrolls. And whenever I would go over there, you know, I'm like 5 or 6 years old. I would just be so bored at their house. So I would just start putting scrolls in the piano and try to memorize the way that the keys would move. Right?
Oh, really?
I was never that successful at it. You know, I could get like 5 seconds in. But that was, I was just something that it was more fun than anything else at their house, you know?
Yeah.
Definitely like one of the hard candy places for sure.
Hard candies.
And
Billy Hard Candy Montana.
Yeah, that's it.
But whenever they passed away, my parents, I was like 8 years old, and my parents they asked me, "Hey, is there anything from their house or anything that you want?" And I said, I wanted that piano, which, looking back, what a tall ask. Like, hey,
Right?
can you guys move this piano for me?
Yeah.
And they did. And they put it in the front room at our house, and they made me take lessons from some lady down the street. And she was a really nice lady, but I don't know that anyone could have been successful in giving me lessons at 8 years old because I was off the walls, you know?
Yeah.
So I did that for like 3 months and decided that I was done learning how to play Take Me Out to the Ball Game. And I kind of put that down. I always sang too, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think at that young, you don't really know, but I always felt as if I could sing. I'd be like, this has to sound like good. You know,
Yeah.
like when I'm like 8 years old singing Backstreet Boys or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then when I got into high school, I kind of discovered my love for piano because I started learning things that I wanted to play. And I think that's a huge difference when you're trying to learn how to play an instrument. You know, you see all these people that take lessons, and you know, there's standard songs that they teach you in lessons and stuff like that. Everyone kind of learns the same ones. But in order to become decent at something, you have to develop somewhat of a passion for it.
Yeah.
And I don't think you get that until you start doing things that interest you, like learning the songs you want to. So that was really key for me. You know, I'm still not a good piano player, but you know, enough to get by. But it was important event in my life because it made me realize how much I love it. You know, and then joined the Army. Then when I got out of the Army,
Learned to play guitar in the Army. Yeah.
just like my last year, I tore my ACL when I had like 8 months left on my contract.
Did you like jump over some like insurgent and like do a ninja kick?
Yeah, no,
tear
it's
your ACL?
way less cool than that. I was just running and training, yeah, and I put my right foot in the ground to go left, but from my knee down, I went to the right instead. Yeah, that's gross. Yes, so that sucked. And then I moved to Nashville 2019. I kind of fought it for a while because I was one of those guys just simply uneducated. I just didn't think that you needed Nashville like everyone thought you did.
Yeah.
Right? And obviously that's just not
You
correct.
thought you could do it, and like
I don't really know what I thought, man. I just felt like I was like, I don't need to go down there, you know. And then I just decided that I was going to take a swing at it, and I knew I had to, so I came down, and here we are, boys.
you have to go where your industry is at least to get started in it. It's really hard to get, excuse me, discovered in Trenton, Ohio, or Hazard, Kentucky, and
Yeah, they don't travel like they used to go scout talent. And everybody just wants it to come to them here.
I think more importantly, even than that, I just would have never got better.
That's the other thing.
That's so important. I just had a friend move to town recently, and he wants to be a songwriter. He started writing songs, and they're okay, but obviously a lot of room for growth. Not that I'm the freaking song standard, but you can just tell. But but you just want to be encouraging to a guy like that, because you're like, that was definitely me, 100%. Like, I'm still learning how to write good songs every single day, but it is shocking how good you used to think you were.
Oh, it's ridiculous,
versus how trash it actually was.
You're in a town of some of the best songwriters in the world.
Yeah.
This is not just in the nation or in the city or whatever. This is in the world. Nashville songwriters are some of the best in the world. And it's true. When I first moved to town, I started writing songs. I'd written some stuff down before, but then I started writing songs, and I was like, these rhyme, so this has to be good.
Yeah.
And you go back and listen to the songs you first started writing, mine are shit.
Yeah.
Big old hunky piles of stankies.
I would love to hear one of those songs.
It's so bad, but it teaches you exactly what you said, that you're not as good as you think you are.
Yeah.
I wasn't the best singer. I thought I was an amazing singer when I got here. For sure not, because the dude waiting on you at McDonald's is way better than you are.
Correct.
It's a better songwriter. And people are moving here every day that are better than you are. Some are not. But it's a competitive industry, but it does make you better. And exactly what you said.
Yeah. I think if you don't realize that, then you'll never give yourself room to grow. Right.
Yeah.
I still hear songs. I still probably hear like a song every 3 months or something that makes me. I swear, it's almost like listening to music is what progresses my, I guess you could say, imagination or mind. I'll hear a certain song, and I'll be like, wow, like that's so good. That's going to change the way that I look at writing songs in the future. And that's kind of what I draw from now. But it's also one of those things where you just have to be super realistic with yourself, because I was just doing like cover shows and stuff. I wasn't an artist per se, right? Yeah. And I loved doing it. I loved singing. I loved performing. I loved all those things. But at some point, you have to realize, like, dude, you're singing, Chris Young songs all night. There's already a Chris Young.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to write your own songs and find your own artistry. And I think that's the most difficult thing for most people, is finding their own artistry. Dude, you can write songs all day long, but you have to know who you are as an artist. And I see that. I see some of the most talented people in this town that just maybe don't quite know who they are as an artist yet, but you can tell that they will.
It's
a beautiful thing, dude. It's like, it's so cool to see, because like, I can tell you're going to be amazing. Yeah. And like, I know you're frustrated right now.
It's that X thing. It's the X. It's the factor. It's that thing that makes a great artist an even greater artist. A lot of good singers in town that can sing just about everything, but they are singers.
Yeah. There's a big difference between singers and artists.
Yeah.
But also, there's no shame in just knowing which one you are. The faster you know which one you are, the easier and faster you will have, or the easier it will be for you to progress your career, if that's what you want, right? How many successful quote unquote artists in this town have been extremely successful and just cut songs their entire career, right?
Yeah. Tim McGraw.
Yeah.
Chesney.
Yeah. Chesney.
George Strait.
Aldine did a lot of that too, and like, but there's not a damn thing wrong with that. I think it is almost just as much of an art to almost carve this path for yourself, and then somehow be able to pick out and realize which songs fit in this artistry lane that you've created for yourself,
and have that evolve.
Yeah, like how many songs do we hear every single day, and we're all like, "Oh, that sounds like an Aldine song." Yeah, right.
Yeah, every one I write sounds like every one of those people's songs if they want them.
Yeah. But the point being is, he doesn't even really write many songs, and we say that. Yeah. Why? Because he's carved out this lane for himself. I think that takes us just as much talent,
That's kind of as an artist, you have to sit back and go, I think I've made it now, because people are saying that about me.
For sure.
It's like, that's an Aldine song. I'm Aldine.
Yeah.
I'm McGraw song. I'm McGraw.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I never thought about it like that.
When you know damn good and well that there's at least one or two rooms going at every publishing company every day writing for you,
Yeah.
you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you served in the Army. Thank you for that. I mean, I know you probably hear it all the time, and it's
If you knew what I did with your tax dollars, you'd be sick.
who pays taxes anymore?
Did you get stationed anywhere cool?
Yeah. When I was 18, I got stationed in Germany,
Oh yeah.
and that was really cool. I was over there for a couple years, and what a culture shock, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm from this small town, but then again, I'm social. It's not like I'm like cut off from the world, you know. And social media is a thing. I'm just not, but getting stationed over there was crazy. I just didn't expect that to be a place that I would go, you know.
Right.
And I did. I went over there, and it was a unique experience because I went to this place called Baumholder, which is a really small post. If you've ever flown through Germany and went through like Frankfurt, you know, it's about an hour and a half from there. But it was a really unique experience for a first duty station because my unit was moving from this town called Bamberg to Baumholder. I was actually the first person that they stopped putting on orders to Bamberg and sent straight to Baumholder, right? So, you know, I mean, the size of every unit is different.
I'm 12 years old again.
Yeah, 100%. Every unit has a different amount of people.
Oh, even better.
I mean, what do you want me to say?
But no, you're telling the story.
You know, so you never quite
Everybody
know.
remembers it differently.
You never quite know what you're walking into. but
Oh, we were children.
yeah, we're absolute children. So, point being, when I got to Baumholder, there was only like.
Can't do it. Bomb holder and unit.
First of all, is this how you're going to treat a veteran?
Yeah.
She's going to laugh when I'm trying to talk.
We
You know what I mean?
salute you.
No. But when I got to Baumholder, there was only 3 or 4 people there that were in my company at the time, which normally there's, you know, probably at least 50, even in the smaller ones. And so when I got, dude, stop.
What? I'm just listening to your story.
Yeah, I know, but now I'm trying not to laugh, okay? But it was a hell of a learning experience. I think the one thing that's really unique about being stationed, they call it OCONUS. Like being stationed in the States is CONUS. Being stationed overseas is OCONUS. One of the really unique things that I didn't get to appreciate at the time, simply because it was my first duty station, about being stationed to OCONUS is how tight-knit everyone is, right? When I got stationed in Georgia, I just experienced a lot of, you know, clickiness, you know, and kind of just like, you know, certain groups of people hanging out with just themselves, and vice versa and stuff. And that just didn't exist in Germany, which was kind of a beautiful first experience over there. You know, I'm from a small town, Ohio. It's not like a very diverse place, you know? Like, everybody at my school besides one person was white.
Yeah.
You know? And I go over to Germany, and my 2 best friends, one's actually German, and the other is this black dude, Harris Bullock. He was the best dude ever. We still talk today. But this gave me like this beautiful first taste of life, you know? And then got to Georgia, and that kind of got shit on a little bit. But it was cool to see what could be, you know. Yeah. But very unique experience. Still swastikas on some buildings and stuff.
For real.
It's very interesting. And when you get out of the bubble that we're in and see a bunch of the world, and you realize how there's a lot more out there to experience.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Germany yet, but I wanted to go. That's going to be a trip.
I think one of the things that, and this might sound weird, but maybe you guys will know what I'm talking about just because of the city that we live in and how much goes on and how many careers you see live and die. And I think one of the weirdest parts about like being in the military and being stationed overseas for me was you realize almost, and I don't mean this in a negative way, it's just the truth. You realize like how insignificant your life is, you know?
It's true.
Which is a weird, like, wow, this place is huge. And I go back to my hometown, and I'm like, that's tough. I don't know why anyone picked here. But,
It's true.
But it's definitely a unique feeling, you know?
It's you think, man, I worry about things that I shouldn't worry about when I look out here and see this different place.
Oh, yeah. It's like, well, also, no one gives a shit about you, and in a very good way. Like, don't take yourself too seriously, or don't be afraid of what other people think and this and that, because, dude, let's just face it. Like, if you could be here today and gone tomorrow, nobody gives a shit.
You're right.
Know?
Now, after the Army, you came back. We're in Georgia for a while. How long did you stay in Georgia? Just
I was there for another 2 years.
For your service? I mean...
Yep. I was stationed down in Augusta, Georgia at Fort Gordon. I don't know the name of it now. They just recently changed it. But Augusta was awesome. Augusta was really, really important for my life because growing up, I grew up most of the time on my grandparents' farm, right? Which was awesome. I had a lot of fun. But for whatever reason... I never really got into country music. I obviously was aware of it and stuff like that, but where I'm from is kind of so country that it was almost cool to be anything but.
Yeah,
sure.
Right?
Yep.
So everybody grew up listening to rap and R&B and, a ton of like alternative rock, and emo rock was huge at the time and all that stuff. So like traditional country to me, definitely have a new appreciation for it now, but at the time was just kind of boring.
Yeah.
Right. And just musically compared to what else was out there. Right. But being in Georgia was really important for me because I think it was the first time that I started listening to the country in a relatable way. Yeah. I was like, oh, wow. I know exactly what they're talking about.
They're singing about me.
Yeah. And I distinctively, is that the right word? Distinctly remember? Yeah. I distinctly remember.
Yeah.
The moment that I decided that I wanted to do country it was always there for me. I never wanted to be one of those dudes that like seemed like a culture vulture,
Culture vulture.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
I like that.
I didn't ever want to come off as inauthentic in the space that I took up, you know. But I remember I was riding back from the lake, Clarks Hill Lake, shout out. I was riding back from the lake one day in my buddy's Jeep, top down. Sun was going down. It's freaking perfect outside. And this was probably like 2014. And they had Sam Hunt's Montevallo CD. And they played it. And it's like a 30-some minute drive back from the lake. So we listened to a good portion of it. And I remember sitting there thinking like, oh, wow, like you can do this now in country. Yeah. And... and now that I've been in music for a while and stuff, it's only natural to see genre lines, blur more and more, or, the field posts kind of get moved every so many years and stuff. But I remember that was the point where I was like, I think that I could do this. Like, if people accept him, then I think they would accept me in country,
It's definitely changed. We talked about this the other day, but you have generations of people, like when Travis and Garth and Travis Tritt and Garth and Randy Travis and those guys came up, the generation before them looked at them as, well, I don't know if these guys are really country.
Of course.
And then it continues on until you get to like Florida Georgia Line and Sam and Chase Rice and those guys. And it's like, I don't know if these guys are really country or not. But it continues forward. And I think anybody that's invested in it like you have been, and you said you gained a new appreciation for the traditional country, and so did those guys. They just took it and made it their own. Is that wrong? No. Is it different? Yes. Is that good? Yeah, man.
One of my favorite songs. One of my favorite country songs of all time is "Austin" by Blake Shelton. I like "Austin" by Blake Shelton, and I love "The Conversation" by Hank and Waylon. Right, but I also think it's really. I think every artist goes back and kind of rediscovers all the old stuff. I think it's important for your growth, but at the same time, I get I don't know if growing tired of them is the right word. I get annoyed with the people that are like, oh, this is country, this ain't country. But dude, good music is just good music, so please just enjoy it for what it is. But and I know that I will get some of that, you know what I mean, for sure, just based upon my style, that I'll get some of that. But I think that it doesn't offend me at all. It's just like, okay, that's fine. I understand completely why you say that. Like,
dude,
let me know what your favorite one is. Like, is there one?
Well, that's the problem with some of those people like that. It's like they listen to Merle Haggard. That's all they listen to.
Right.
If you're not Merle Haggard, then you're not country. If you're not Johnny Cash, you're not country.
Well, it's like, everything evolves, right? Look at Blake Shelton. There's a reason he's been able to have a successful 25-year career. And I'll tell you, keep playing them songs, is a far cry from Old Red.
Yeah.
Right? But he just evolved with the industry and has been able to maintain what is authentic to him whilst evolving his sound while the sound evolves around him. And it just works, right? I think that gives you longevity. And I also think that there should be things as an artist that you're willing to compromise on and things that you aren't, right? I mean, dude, every freaking day I hear, some track guy or some producer is like, I hear some track that somebody did and I'm like, I know this sounds crazy in this town. Dude, I don't know if I've heard anything like that before. And that's a cool thing to me. I love that. I think at some point, every era defining artist has been so different that people didn't know what to do with them at first.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah,
I agree.
Totally.
The first time you ever heard, it doesn't matter if you like him or not. The first time you ever heard, I don't know if you were looking at me or not. You probably smile like that all the time. You look to check and make sure you're on the right station.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's the fact that you looked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Aldine. All the Garth people were like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, turns out it's not.
It's just
And
progress,
fine.
man, and it's okay.
But also, everyone's artistry is different. That's exactly what it is. It's artistry. That painting you like, I might not like. I might
It's
like the one
first,
next to
better,
it.
or different. That's the things that
Yeah.
define an artist and if they're going to be successful or not, I think.
I
What you got over
concur.
there, Bob?
Just hanging out.
We're
Man.
just hanging out.
Yeah, just listening to this amazing conversation about.
It is a good one.
Sorry,
no,
I'm
but
so-
no, you're totally right. I mean, I can't tell you how many artists I've seen. Like Walker Hayes pops in my mind. I remember when he first got signed to Capitol, and he had that song called "She Wears the Pants." Mm-hmm. Like country radio wanted nothing to do with that song,
No.
and so he kind of faded out, struggled. I mean, I remember seeing him working at Costco, and then he kind of refound himself. I don't know how much he really changed his music. So I think his music was always the same, probably evolved a little bit, but. And all of a sudden, then the time was right for his kind of music, and now he's had all kinds of great success in the last couple of years. It's
That's the thing I wish. I mean, these days we don't have the longevity to start a career like Kenny Chesney starting out. It was a long time before he hit and was big and famous.
Yeah.
But if they had given up on him after the first couple albums or the first couple years, we wouldn't have that today.
I think that's the thing that scares me most about the industry today is I feel like just based upon how, I mean, it's no secret that the consumers with shorter attention span now than ever, right? And I mean, that's always
It's
happening.
one click, man.
It's one click, but we have catered as an industry to that, which is fine. I understand the business behind that. I understand perfectly why you're doing it, but it scares me because I feel like we're going to lose out on a lot of generational talent because of it.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that Prince would concern himself with, you know what I mean?
No.
But it's true because it's just like you said, man, there's a difference between singers and artists. And I think everyone plays the game that they have to play right now. But if given the chance, I would always choose to hone my craft.
Yeah. How did you do that when you first came to Nashville? Did you? What did you do? How did you dive into this thing?
So I'd always kind of. You're just talking about how did I try and hone my craft?
Yeah. How did you? I mean, I know you didn't come in doing what you do now.
Right.
What did you start? Just go out and start meeting people? Did you just start hitting the writers' nights? Did you start,
So I had always been. I'd always had my ear to the ground because I'd always done the cover band stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, I was maybe just more in tune with the hot new artist more than the next person just because of that.
Yeah.
And when I first moved to town, I was playing on Broadway, dude. Which is kind of unique these days. Like nobody, goes back and forth like that anymore.
Yeah.
And because there's two sides to this town, right? And so I started out just playing on Broadway because I'd always done cover band things, so it just made sense. I go down there and make a little bit of money, but dude, I didn't realize it at the time, but really, really, really taught me how to perform, right? And taught me how to keep a crowd or how to get one if you don't have one.
It changes every night. It's the same crowd, but it's different.
Yeah, it changes every night. It changes with the seasons. It changes with the music that's out and blah, blah, blah. And I also learned what I liked about my voice and what I didn't like about my voice. Like I have a deep voice and I know that. And just because I can you maybe go higher than you think that I could doesn't mean I should because my voice thins out up there.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes because I'll be in rights, so oh no, you can hit that. Like, listen, I know that I know that you think that I can. Yeah, maybe technically I can. Doesn't mean that it sounds good though, right? But those were things that I learned about myself through doing the Broadway thing. And then I met this dude, Adam, who ended up being my duo partner in After Midtown.
Yeah.
Right? When I met him, he just started out like playing guitar for me, with me, however you want to say it. You know, he's just a prolific guitar player, right? And he obviously can also sing and stuff. And Adam knew a lot of the songs that I didn't know. So it was perfect going around and trying to make money playing covers. Because, man, it let me jump off stage for 10, 15 minutes, take a break. Same with him. Dude, we just tag team the thing, and it was great. And then we had never tried to write music together. I'd really never wrote a lot of music since being in Nashville, because I was probably only there for like 6 months at the time, right? And so I was just, I was just happy to be here, hanging out with everybody all the time. Yeah, hell yeah. But I remember sitting down to write for the first time. He had this guitar riff that I found interesting, and I just started writing some words over it that sounded like the vibe of what would go with that guitar riff, right? And then ended up sending it to some friends in the industry, Scott Frazier, and then Chief came calling, and that was pretty much that. But I say that to say that even at the time, I didn't realize it, but it's the exact same way I am now. I'm not instrumentally talented, right? I'm good enough to where if you didn't play, you wouldn't be able to know that I suck at guitar, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not creative on guitar, right? Yeah. And there's a big difference. So I've learned throughout the last 5 years that I can walk into the room and have all the ideas in the world. It does me no good if all I can do is sit down and write a G, D minor, C, right? So I really lean on, I've realized that I have to lean on someone else in a room to do something musically interesting. Because once there's something musically interesting, then I can have way more interesting vocal melodies and stuff like that, or else I'd just be doing the same thing over and over again.
It lets you focus on one part of it rather than trying to do both. Yeah, I get that. Totally get that.
And like, although I do feel like I'm kind of, lately I'm just kind of like catching a stride, songwriting and stuff like that, I never once wake up and think that I can do it myself. I'm still, you could go far and wide and find the one person in this world that thinks I'm the best songwriter ever or something. And I would still tell them, like, I would be useless without someone else equally as creative in the room, because it would just not turn out well. It just wouldn't,
It's a collaborative effort. I mean, there's times I'll try. Songwriting, you need somebody to bounce stuff off for me. Mm-hmm. If I sit down and write, I've written songs by myself before, but I have no barometer of whether they're good or not. And it's easier if it's not a really good song that you have somebody else to blame on.
Yeah, there's no
not
filter.
Being a really good song. Yeah. When you hear somebody go, I don't really care for that song, it's like, oh shit, I wrote that by myself.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that other person. And it depends. This happens all the time. One day somebody's gonna be on, one day somebody's gonna be off. But I mean, sometimes I'll just sit down and it'll just come out.
Yeah.
Same way for you, I'm sure.
For sure.
But it's always that person was there for that reason. Mm-hmm. They sparked something in you, or they changed something that you wouldn't have thought of, or they said a word that brought up a whole different idea. And it's the same thing. It's nice to have somebody else there with you.
Oh yeah. I like, everybody's a little bit different in how they write best, For me, I've learned that I definitely do best when I'm able to drive the car and the other people in the room are able to put street signs along the way. And like, that's just how I work best. But oh my gosh, like I would go nowhere without that. Even though, like, you could be in a room with me, and even if you feel like you didn't contribute that much, you did. You definitely did. And that's super. And there's some days where that I'm that person in the corner of the room putting street signs on the street for somebody,
Yeah.
So doing that every day helps me hone my craft, but also surrounding yourself with talented people, right? I learned in the Army that I want to be the worst player on my team.
Yeah.
Right? Like I would, you don't want to be the best in that scenario, right? You want to be the worst one around you. It's kind of the same way here. I have the same mentality with my band. You know, like if I'm the best guitar player in this group, we're screwed. Right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and but I got some really talented friends. I mean, not to miss out on anyone, but like Jacob Hackworth, for example, right? I love Jacob. Jacob was one of my first friends in town, and we're still really close to this day. But Jacob was so good. He's so good, and he didn't know how good he was. I remember sitting there begging Sony Publishing when I was over there to sign him. I was showing him these demos and stuff, and I was like, listen, he's just so good, right? Like, am I crazy? He's so good. To a point where they were like, can you please stop? You know? Well, a year later, he wrote Rockin' a Hard Place, right? But Jacob is a prolific singer, could absolutely be an artist if he wanted to, but he could be an artist if he wanted to because he has a lane, right?
Yeah.
There's things that Jacob's really, really good at, and there's things that he's really not.
Yeah.
But even if you don't have the self-awareness to see that in yourself, if you see it in enough people other than yourself, you will realize that you are obviously not an anomaly, and you do some inward looking. And I am very, very open now in the beginning of writes. If I've never wrote with that person before, hey, here's what I'm good at and here's what I'm not. Like I'm just gonna tell you right now, right? You know, I don't, you know, don't let me touch the guitar. I shouldn't, you know. But it's true. It's true. You got to play to your strengths and stuff, and just surrounding yourself with the right people. Like I got friends that got no problem being like, hey, that's trash.
Yeah.
You know,
That'd be me.
Everybody in this town wants to look cool and have all the clout and blah blah blah, and that's cool. You know, when you go to the bar with your buddies, there's people that think you're cool. That's awesome. But when it comes to moving the needle on your career, you need people that tell you when something sucks.
Exactly. The old dudes will tell you how shitty you are too.
Got to.
I mean, I've been in the room with some standard guys, and they're like, "It's not no." It's like no. Try it again, son, and light up a cigarette. Anyway.
Yeah.
So after Midtown, you did some stuff for a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That just decided maybe go our separate ways. Or...
Yeah. It was one of those things where, dude, Adam's a great dude. He's super, super, super talented. Like, man, I'm telling you, I could not see him for the next 50 years. And if you ask me in 51 years who the best instrumentalist I ever met in my life was, it's him.
Yeah.
Right? Just prolific and truly, truly a savant. Like John Mayer would watch him play guitar and be like,
Yeah.
damn, you know, he's, and
That's a compliment.
Same thing with drumming. Like he is almost a better drummer, you know, just so damn good. And, yeah, dude, it's just one of those things where I think After Midtown came up in an interesting time, right? We started that duo at the beginning of 2020, and it was our first, I don't know a better way to say this, was our first legitimate experience in the music industry, right? Where you had anything going of, you know, of substance. And we signed a pub deal over there at Sony, right? Signed a management deal with 10th Street and the Core, and, you know, Scott's great. Simon's great, Chief's great, obviously just industry veterans that have been there before, you know, and have a booking deal with CAA and all this stuff. And, you know, we just start writing songs and we're on the road 24/7 out playing those break-even opening slots, you know, and it was a freaking time of my life. I had so much damn fun. But also, I think just like any relationship in life, I think things at times were very financially stressful, right? Because it's not like
You're not making any money whatsoever.
Like if you're listening to this and you have a favorite artist that isn't selling out tours, and I'm telling you right now, they're not making a bunch of money, right? Which is fine. That's not what it's about.
Please support them by streaming their music,
correct?
Buying their merch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, I mean, you know as well as I do, dude. So many nights you're like sitting there on stage, like looking at the merch table, like I really pray to God people buy stuff tonight, right?
Please get T-shirts so we can buy gas to go home,
right?
Yeah.
And that's, I think, some of the financial stress really got to us, not even with each other, just personally. You know what I mean? And then also the money that is there, it's a duo, dude. You're splitting it, right?
Yep.
And so, you know, I mean, dude, he's a grown ass man. He's got bills and a girlfriend and a house to have and a truck to drive, and you know, and I have the same problems, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, sometimes I'd see him struggling or he'd see me struggling, and you know, you don't ever really have time to deal with it. You're just, well, you're back on the road this weekend to go further in debt, you know, and But hey, that's the name of the game. Like, we're not complaining about being on the road or anything like that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think at some point, just going through all of those things, and for some of the label meetings to not go how you felt they did, and things like that, or just not having as quick of growth as you felt like you should, can really get to you mentally. You know, and yeah, dude, at the end of last summer, you know, Adam said that he just kind of just wanted to write and produce, and his heart just wasn't in it anymore, which, dude, I freaking get, you know? Like,
absolutely, man.
And it's one of those things where I think your initial reaction is you want to be upset and stuff like that, you know? You're like, oh, man, well, like, how can you leave me hanging like that?
Yeah, what am I going to do now?
But at the same time, like, dude, if you're not taking care of yourself first, there's no way that you can possibly give any portion of your heart to a duo.
Yeah, what good is he going to be when he's just miserable in this thing?
Well, and also we do this thing in Nashville where, you know, if you have any sort of momentum or juice, as I like to say, some juice, you've got to look like you do in this town, right? Bro, you know how defeating it is to, like, not be able to pay your rent and go out and still try to look like the man and act like the man?
Yeah.
But it's not even that, like, not even like a conceited thing. It's legitimately expected. You know what I mean? So
perception in this town is a big thing.
100%. And but I think, you know, I think, man, I'm such a strong believer. I should get this freaking painted on my walls. Like, I'm such a strong believer in the fact that you learn way more through failure than you do success. Right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I feel like I've grown so much as a person in the last year and a half, way more than I ever have in my entire life. Like, I really, really mean that. It's the first time in my life where I've felt like I've dealt with my flaws and kind of made them manageable, and really understood what they are, and tried to just be a better person, friend, artist. Dude, I had like, I'm a very confident person, right? Like, I believe in what I'm doing, right? Well, dude, 3 years ago, that came off as like, I looked like I had a huge ego.
Yeah.
But I didn't mean it in that way. I just speak about it maybe differently than the next guy.
Yeah.
So it would come off as egotistical.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand it. And I remember Chief and them being like, hey, dude, you know? and I was like, oh, okay, like, there's 3 of you guys telling me that this is a problem. Like, I'm going to fix it. Right.
Yeah.
So I did, you know, and it wasn't like a John Mayer like type of ego problem. That's not what I'm saying. It was more so just understanding how to make what you say and do be more well received.
Yeah.
Right? Because the way, you know, not that I like to beat around the bush and stuff like that, but dude, sometimes you shouldn't say exactly what's on your mind.
Yeah.
And sometimes you should, or whatever you're about to say, dude, somebody might have worked really hard on that for like 2 years, and you're about to shit on it because you didn't like it or something. But I'm a classic 99 things could be going right and one thing could be going wrong, and I'm 100% always focused on the one thing that's going wrong.
little half full, are you?
It's not half full. I think there's like
quarter full.
So
eighth full.
There was one thing that I disagreed about in like the critique of myself a few years ago, right? Yeah. Dude, if there was 10 pieces of advice, I took 9, right?
Yeah.
There was just one thing that after, you know, dude, I used to like go to speak to a therapist and stuff just to figure myself out, you know? And there's one thing that I refuse to compromise on, and it's that people used to get upset with me. Hey, Rotundo, you need to celebrate the little wins. There's 99 things going right and one thing going wrong. You focus on the one thing that's going wrong. And I understand why you would say that to me, right? But dude, I don't need to focus on the other 99 things because they're going right. And also, everyone in this town is working so hard every day. If I am not focused on that one thing that I can get better at, I'm selling myself short. Whether it's something within your business, whether it's a friend that you surround yourself with that you shouldn't, whether it's something in your songwriting process or something like that. Dude, I just think I just can't come to terms with that one. I understand celebrating small wins, and dude, I love winning as much as the next guy, but I think I will always focus on the things that are wrong because I want everything to go as well as it can.
Well, you want to be better. I get that.
Yeah.
You want to make yourself the best version of yourself, whether it be in your personal life, your art life, whatever that is, business life. So totally understand that. Yeah, absolutely, dude. So what you were with Sony, and now where are you?
Curb Word
Music Pub. How you like it over?
It's been the best industry experience of my musical life.
Yeah,
for sure.
They're good people.
He gets paid to say that.
No, I know, right? Seriously though, I do, but it's not what it should be. No, I'm just kidding.
What do you got? What do you got going on right now that you're excited about? I mean,
let me just qualify that last statement really fast. I was kind of, what do we call them? Pledges here for like the last 8 months, before I signed here.
Yeah.
And dude, I know it sounds cliche, but when they say go where you're loved, this is that for me, right? Like I learned over the last few years that it doesn't matter where or who or why, as long as they are in love with you, dude, that's what you need to be doing.
It's
like
different.
If you don't have a champion in the building every day, and I remember like thinking I have in the past, but this is the first time where I'm like, man, I feel like everyone that has a voice in this building is like really, really cares about me, and that's really, really cool. Like I've just never felt that, so that's why I feel that way.
It sounds cliche to say, but it is a family over here.
100%, dude. And I also feel like there's so many writers and stuff over here that I feel like I can't believe that the entire world doesn't know about them. And
exactly.
But now I feel I have this internal battle with myself every day. Like, hey, do I tell everyone, or do I keep them for myself?
You're really good.
Yeah, I was just telling someone earlier today. In fact, the Sonys and the Universals and Warners, they're all very big, old, established companies, and they have a lot of amazing resources. But if you don't have someone there who's going to champion you or believe in you, then you're just kind of spinning your wheels. I mean, and that could be the same thing at a smaller company too. But like, obviously, there's people at the big companies who champion writers. But for the new and up and coming people, you got to really have a champion who's willing to go the extra mile and work their tail off for you and help you get there. And the bigger companies, they're so stretched out.
It's just a numbers game, right?
Yeah. It's market share, numbers game, however you want to look at it. But at Curb, it's a really large independent company, and we do the best we can to compete with the majors, but we don't play that game. We're not buying catalogs of the biggest writers and all that, and we're not doing those.
You don't need those.
No, but it's more fun to take people who haven't had any, at least for me, who haven't had any success, and get them to the top. To ring that bell, achieve that goal. That's always been one of my passions in my role, for sure.
I recognize that I'm in the infancy of a new artist career now, right? And I can't believe that every single day I am treated as if I am the biggest artist that they have.
Yeah.
That shit feels good, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
but we can change that.
Yeah, dude, anytime. But that feels so good, dude. Like even the writers, like you go, anywhere else I've been, guys put in less effort based upon where you're at in your career if you're not where they feel like you should be for them to be writing with you.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, the day I walk in here, I didn't even have a song out yet. And everybody's like, hell yeah. Like, let's do that. This sounds great. And dude, it's been a very liberating experience for sure.
What kind of songs you got out right now? What kind of songs you got going on? What's happening with you?
When will this? Well, I'm sure by the time this is out, or maybe not.
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay, tomorrow. No. Damn, you guys are good.
Well, we're trying to get them out as quick as we can.
I got a song coming out Friday called "Staying Gone," and that'll be my second release. And then I put one out like 5 or 6 weeks ago now, called "Break Even." And that was my first release, and I feel like that really set a songwriting standard, for the rest of my artistry. And then "Staying Gone" is something that's maybe a little more musical, but without compromising on the songwriting of it.
Yeah.
And, right now I'm just building a body of work, essentially, so that I can go play shows and stuff in the
Yeah.
spring. So I plan on releasing every 4 to 6 weeks until someone tells me not to.
Yeah.
And
I think it's a great idea.
I had a meeting with one of my really good friends and my agent over at CAA, Chris Burris, a while back, and he was saying that they had a company-wide meeting one day about comparing the traction of artists that are releasing every 4 to 6 weeks versus artists that are being a little too precious with it, right?
Yeah.
And he said that the difference is astonishing. And that was all I needed to hear,
Yeah.
And I had already felt like in my duo we had kind of sat on music too much. Dude, why? Like, I have all these amazing writers at freaking my disposal here,
Yeah.
and it's I'm writing a song a week here that I'm proud of, that I would love to put out.
Yeah.
Why not? Also,
I completely agree.
it doesn't matter. Example, I got really lucky and Break Even went viral on TikTok right before I put it out. I think that's a dream scenario for your first release, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say the second one didn't. It doesn't matter. Why? Because whether you're adding 500,000 monthly listeners or 10,000 monthly listeners, you're still growing.
Yeah.
So I think you just continue to pile all of that on top of each other and kind of go with like a Russ approach, if you're familiar, and build this catalog that, to where you have legitimate fans and they're listening, and you are giving them enough music and content to become a super fan. I think I'm really big on that stuff.
Agree.
I just don't, man, if it's one thing this go around, like, I would really love to go with my gut a little more in regards to releasing music.
Nice.
Because, dude, like, you guys know as well as I do, there's people whom we respect like hell in this industry. You guys, you being one of them, but at the end of the day, when it comes to like knowing what great songs are or knowing how well a song's going to do, we are all full of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's so subjective, and it's so hard to tell. I mean, I could love a song, and David could absolutely hate it, and vice versa. It's just and trying to convince the radio world that it's a hit song, that's a whole nother ball game.
Sure, So I just feel like with my artist career, just, dude, I want as many at bats as I can possibly have.
Yeah. What was that Train song? What's that one song of theirs that's real popular? Not the Drops of Jupiter, but the second one.
Me, Virginia.
No.
Oh, you're talking about Marry Me?
I don't know, but I remember they put it out to radio, and
the one that went viral on, like,
Hey,
Jimmy
Soul
Fallon
Sister.
had him on. Hey, Soul Sister.
Soul Sister,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, they put it out to radio. Radio hated it, and all of a sudden it had a moment outside of radio.
It went to Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon.
Ginormous song for them.
Yeah. I think Fallon had him on, and they played that song, and it blew up after that. And they credit him for reviving their career.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, radio couldn't stand the song.
I remember this one time Chief was telling me this story because Chief used to manage Hinder.
Yeah.
Right? And we were kind of having this conversation about how no one really ever knows what they're talking about. He was like, dude, with FGL, he was like, I've been doing this for a while. Like, I've been along for the ride of a lot of hit songs. He's like, dude, with FGL, he was like, I remember being in Borchetta's office and just being pissed that he wanted Dirt to be the next single. I was like, this is never going to work. Obviously, I was wrong. But he was saying that when he managed Hinder, they got done with the album, and the A&R flew in and listened to the record and gave each song a letter grade, right? Get Stoned was what they wanted to be the single.
Yeah.
Get Stoned, whatever. And, but Lips of an Angel got the lowest letter grade.
No shit.
Yeah.
Of course.
And they said that they sent the record out, to all the radio stations and stuff like that, or however that worked back then. And he said that it was program directors like taking time out of their day and calling and being like, hey, we're spinning Get Stoned. Everyone loves it. But like, just so you know, Lips of an Angel is the hit on this record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just started playing it, But I say that to say, we don't know what we're talking about, dude.
No. It's just, we were talking to Billy Montana the other day about this. Sarah Evans, Suds on the Bucket. The label hated it. Didn't want her to cut it. Didn't want it to be put on the album.
Yeah.
And didn't want it to be a single.
It was the last track on the album.
It was the last track on the album.
number
Ended up
13.
being like one of her biggest hits of all time.
Yeah.
So,
And I also think that every songwriter would also tell you, like, dude, the ones I think are going to go, don't. and the ones that I don't think ever will do.
Exactly.
You know? So, yeah, I just don't want to ever be too precious with it. And I also think that I have a responsibility as kind of the guy that gives these songs commercial life, right? I think I have a responsibility to all the songwriters and people that invest their time into my career to give everything the opportunity to live.
Well, man, we're very excited to see what's going to happen with you. I am very excited. I love you. I love what you do. I'm just going to be watching and seeing your progression on up. Best big moment here. No, man, but thank you for what you do. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy you're in the Curb family.
It's the first time you've ever been this nice to me.
I know. And thank you for coming in here today and hanging out with us. Will you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, Farmers Only, and no, you can
Christian Mingle.
Yeah, definitely Christian Mingle. My Instagram is the Rotundo.
The Rotundo.
Yeah, I got this dumb Italian last name, but I refuse to go by anything else. It's like the big round room at Rotunda, but with an O at the end.
Yeah.
How Italian are you?
My name's Michael Nicholas Rotundo. Yeah.
But I mean, are you like into that lifestyle or
No, not dude. I grew up in a very the other side of my family was German way.
Oh,
you know?
Oh, so you got to go back to your
That
roots.
didn't sound right. I grew up on a farm.
You're so Nazi. I don't like you anymore.
Yeah, that's not what I meant.
Fascists,
Nine.
No.
Yeah.
So the Rotundo.
The Rotundo.
Look for your music coming out on Friday.
Yeah. What's the name of the song again?
It's called Staying Gone.
Staying Gone.
Yeah.
Don't stay
Yes.
gone on this song, please.
I wrote it with Kyle and Riley.
Okay. Kyle Schlinger, Riley Roth.
Yeah, I wrote
Let's
it
go.
with the duo and the. What are they engaged now?
Yeah, they're engaged now.
Yep.
They're about to be wed.
They
in
are.
a year.
I saw the pics.
I talked to him yesterday.
Speaking of Germans,
Yeah.
Schlinger.
When he does his gay German, it's the best.
It's
But,
absolutely great.
He told me they set their wedding date and they're set it for September 21st of next year. 'Cause it happens to be on a Friday
Oktoberfest
or Saturday. I mean, but it's because of the song. Can you? Oh shit!
Did
Do you
you?
remember the 21st night of September?
Yeah,
Yes, that's
yeah.
how they set the date.
Wow.
If we all get invited, should we just tell them that we have a right? I'm sorry, dude. I'd love
Right.
to, but
I think it's a
Yeah,
Saturday.
I don't want to go to his wedding. I don't want to. I'll get him a toaster.
Before you leave, you get to spin the wheel of shame.
Spill.
For the wheel of shame.
Yeah,
Give
spin
it a
it.
good old Price is Right spin.
Spin it,
Come on,
Daddy.
man.
Some of these,
Don't read it.
yeah, they're concerning.
They always are.
Please don't be the smell.
I don't even know what they mean. That's the problem. Dragon's breath.
Oh,
I'm not in the mood for Dragon's Breath.
you got to do it.
You want to do Dragon's Breath?
Got to do it.
I don't even know what it is.
Got to do it.
Okay, let's
You
do
got to
it.
do it. That's the way it is. The wheel of shame.
Talk amongst yourselves. I'll prepare the Dragon's Breath.
Dude, is it gross?
Well, it's not. We did with Jim Ed Norman.
We're doing shots. Nice.
Jim Ed Norman last week. We did smelling salts.
I've always wanted to do those.
We can do that too.
I don't know, dude.
You need to do it once in your life.
Are you having a virgin, David?
You talking
Yes,
about like,
I am having a virgin.
you talking about like the ones like you're at the gym, you want to get pumped up, you smell those?
No,
Oh.
this is like wake you up from dead salts. Smelling
That's what
salts.
they are, though, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you see, like the hockey players that are
Yeah,
like, I'm
let
not
him-
pumped up enough.
Let him hit a little bit of that.
Will I puke?
The smelling salts? No.
Okay. You get to do it for fun. Now, what you want to do is probably hold it about right here and breathe in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got my nose down in it and sniffed real hard.
Breathe in.
Oh my god! Holy shit!
Bro, I had it right here.
I said, don't put your nose on it because you'll probably light yourself on fire. Anyway.
100%, dude. That's like
my eyes started watering. My nose started running and bleeding. It was bad.
that feels as if like you went underwater and forgot that you were, and you just took a big
Exactly.
old.
It's
You
like
know,
you
like-
snuffed the salt water way up in your nose.
Oh yeah, cigarettes never sounded so good.
Buddy, I thought I was going to die last week. I couldn't drive home. I lost feeling in my leg for a minute. My credit score went down. I got gout.
You got
I
go.
love that you said,
Yeah.
I've never been more aware of my right nostril.
I was like, oh my God.
Hey, you know what we have to do next podcast?
What's that?
We have to limit my talking so that we can let Colt talk.
No, Colt
Don't
doesn't
need
need
to
to
talk.
talk.
Nobody's tuning in to hear me talk.
What the dragon's
did.
breath is,
I did
is
today.
just a big old shot of hot sauce.
What'd you listen to?
Your most recent one?
Jim Ed.
Jim Ed Norman.
Jim Ed talks.
It was a legend and an
He
icon.
is. He talks.
That's it.
He talks.
All right, boys. Dragon's breath.
May the wings of liberty never lose feather.
I love you. Yeah, don't hurt yourself. Okay, here we go. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Give me something.
Here you go.
Yeah, give me that right now.
We don't need chasers.
Wow.
I just talked about how I had heartburn.
Oh, buddy, you better have some more Tums.
Give me the smelling salts back.
Those are much. I don't know which. I think the smelling salts are worse.
It's pretty
The
rough.
dragon's breath is pretty rough. Oh. Well, kids, Colt, tell them where you can find us.
Yeah, we're available on all streaming platforms.
streaming.
Apple Music, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube.
On fire.
Like us, rate us, subscribe. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Rotundo's, he's dead now.
Rotundo's-
He's laying over.
Rotundo can't even talk anymore. All
Thank
right.
you guys. Have a good
Love you guys.
day. See ya.
Bye.